All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm Lina Abujamra, if we have not met yet, and we are here doing a Zoom interview again with one of my favorite people on the planet. She has become somebody that I talk with on a regular basis. You have met her before. Her name is Dr. Andrea, and man, we work hard for the title doctor. Nobody ever uses it in my life, so I'm going to milk it in your life. But Andrea, it's great to have you back. You've been just to bring people up to speed if they're now checking in for the first time. We have a work going on in Lebanon that you are a part of. In fact, you are part of a church that is very active with providing humanitarian aid and just hope in every way to Syrian refugees. And now we just have been focused in this summer on seeing how the Lord would use you in the clinic. And so you graduated medical school. We met you just a few weeks ago. You had a year to kill because of COVID. We couldn't come to the States. And so instead, God opened this opportunity for you to run our medical clinic in Lebanon. And man, it's been exciting to hear all that's happening. So I brought you back. I know you love to be on video. That's the highlight of your day. But whether you love it or not, we love having you. So I thought, tell us a little, maybe bring us up to speed. How have you been doing, first of all?
It's been going great, Amjad, so much better than I expect even. We've been running the clinic for the past 2 months almost, and it has exceeded my expectations.
So I was going to backtrack a little. You know, when we started this conversation, you were setting this thing up from the ground. There's nothing there, and you're just graduating medical school, so you had a lot of fears. What were a couple of your biggest fears?
Honestly, like I hadn't known how much I can handle and how much I wanted to ensure that I do no harm, and I'm able to help these people. And it was my very first time on my own, and so that was terrifying for me. Actually, I was having an acute panic attack before our very first clinic, and God had kind of reminded me his name, Jehovah Rapha, that he is the healer. And no matter how experienced or non-experienced the doctor is, like it's him who heals. And kind of that gave me a push. And then he also taught me that he is the God that gives wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I had never taken that as, medical knowledge. But he has been reminding me of things in the clinic, things that I haven't studied in ages that would just come back to me in my mind. And I really experienced firsthand how faithful he has been. And so I was terrified, but you have a very faithful father.
Amen. This is awesome because so just to give people a taste, most people finish medical school and then go into at least 3 years of training. There's many more in some cases. For me, I did 3 years of pediatrics, 3 years of pediatric ER. And then when you go into the work, you're still so nervous. And so I can completely appreciate the step of faith you took, but you did it truly because you saw this opportunity and you have continued to I've seen you even grow in the last 2 months. We'll get to that in a second, but I love what you said, and sort of an encouragement even to people who might be watching. I've been in practice 20 years and I still remind myself of what you just told me, which is like, as much as we want to be like, wow, I got this down, I still wake up in the morning and count how faithful God is, protecting my patients, giving us wisdom, and so much wisdom that he gives is in fact, like, I'll just sometimes know what to do. And you might be like, well, it's because you've worked for so long, but in fact, we know what we know. And it's so cool to see God so practically moving in as a healer. And so that first clinic, so we sort of decided to work out our way up, but there's been so many points of awesome miracles that have happened even in the last 2 months. So first, of course, you have a great team. You guys started seeing patients, and I think we're averaging about 10 patients a clinic, and you're like their primary care doctor. Where are patients hearing about this clinic from?
As you said, we decided to take it, start small and grow. And so we didn't actually spread news. We just asked one person to link us up with 8 people. And so far we've been booked every week because these 8 people are really enjoying their time and they're really getting the good health care. And so they've been spreading the news. So really we had to do 0 advertisement. We're having
word of mouth. This is awesome. And it's all really, we're trying to serve the Lebanese people. Are these people who have been coming to the church, or you're opening it to anybody, is my understanding?
No, we're open to Lebanese people in general, the general population. And the need has been, I did not understand that the need has been so dire. People are not coming with they're not coming with acute illnesses. They're coming with chronic illnesses that they have, left untreated for years because they cannot afford medical care. So, and like people right now people are coming having lost their jobs, with multiple medical comorbidities, and they're unable to get the basic.
And so when you see a patient who like comes to you and says, I've got high blood pressure, I've got diabetes, the list is long. We all understand that, all the comorbidities, all these illnesses that come together, and they're like, I haven't taken my meds in 3 or 4 months. How do you feel as even now, like starting your practice, do you feel hope in that we can offer them medications? And do they find that even the few months that we've been there now, is it making a difference? Or are you overwhelmed by the fact that this is such a big problem that how are we ever going to solve it?
It was extremely overwhelming. So I'm going to give you an example. I had a patient who literally had uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension, just got laid off of work, PVD probably, like he can barely walk with sores on his feet. And I felt like so helpless to help. His symptoms could be due to any of the above, and it was horrible. But he's been coming every other week, I feel. And he came, and he's from a different background, and he came yesterday, and his diabetes is finally controlled. His hypertension is
awesome.
And honestly, I at the beginning, I read every guideline there is, and I was planning on adding a diabetic drug, but as for continuity, when we stopped helping him, he wasn't being able to afford his original drugs, let alone an extra additional drug. So I just ended up changing the doses of his drugs and providing them consistently. And he's been very compliant with his new regimen. He even calls me every now and then just to check up about.
You're his doctor. That's awesome.
I know. And the fact that they're now controlled with Android, it's changing. And because he keeps coming and he totally depends on us, he's been opening up about his life. His brother recently passed away, and we got a chance to share about our hope in Jesus and pray with him this past week. And that was such a happy moment for me. I did not expect to see, God's goodness in this way.
And so, how much are donations from the U.S. helping? So if somebody gives $50 to help with meds, does that buy anything? Is that
substantial? Oh my God. With the inflation right now, $1 is equivalent to 9,000 liras. So with $1, you can pretty much buy a cheap drug.
Wow. So what's let's say we challenge people to give $50 a month. Would that support 5 patients' meds? God, I know it's but just give me a gut example. Would that be able to support people's chronic meds for 1 patient, for a couple of patients? Would it be worth it for somebody to give up their Starbucks once a week for, give about $40 a month? What would that translate? Break it down for me.
Yeah. Right now, if things remain the way they are, and they might not, that's right now, I feel like $20 would cover mostly all the drugs 1 patient would need
for a month. That's incredible. That is not a huge amount of money, because a lot of people think a barrier to donating is that I don't have enough to donate for a medical clinic, but $20 could pay for a patient's meds for an entire month. And you're seeing the fruit of course, even in this case where you're sharing the hope of Jesus with someone, they're coming back, they're getting healthier. So there's so many layers of this. I'm sure I can feel the smile in this man. The Lebanese are very expressive, and I can even feel this connection that you have with him and how that's changing his life. That's incredible. You call me, every week we touch base when you do the clinic, and at the beginning you were calling me a lot, but then God provided. Tell us a little bit about the nurses that you've come across with.
That has been the biggest gift to me. So second, third week in, a couple of people reached out, and so I had an RN who was an American missionary here who just moved to Zahlé, reached out and say hey, I'm searching for a medical ministry, and so she came on board. And then we have also a nurse practitioner who basically, it was the same story, and I met with one girl on Friday and the other on Saturday, and I was okay, God, you're super nice to me, and so I seemed it grew overnight into a 4-member team. And so now we have Gloria, who's just amazing with being the
Gloria
face,
is Gloria is learning to be a speech therapist, I believe, and she's running sort of the front, the behind the scenes stuff.
Exactly, and she had like she does the appointment making, and she has like such a way with people, like welcoming in and greeting them, and she's amazing at that. Our nurse is phenomenal. Like she like it's her heart ticket. Like,
She's the one
really
from
wants to
Wisconsin. She's the Green Bay gal.
Yeah, she
Appleton,
went.
but she's like literally from my town. I can't believe that. Of all the things, her mom emailed me the day before you met her, unknowing that you two had connected. It is incredible, and she's great.
Yeah, Anna Marie had not like told her mother to connect. It all happened, you know, by God's planning.
And Kaylee is incredible.
They both are. So our RN, Anna Marie, just like really has a heart to connect to people and to talk to them. She speaks perfect Arabic, and so she's already shared the gospel and salvation plan before they even come in. They come in, and then Haley has been a phenomenal help because she has the experience. You know, I have theoretical knowledge, and so we kind of go back and forth between us to reach the perfect conclusion.
What's interesting is so much time can be spent on translating the gift of you speaking Arabic, but now how God brings you two nurses. Anne Marie, from what I understand, has only been in Lebanon a short period of time. She's American and has been an understanding of Arabic beyond what you would expect. And she reminds me of Daniel, the prophet, in that, you know, God has given her understanding. And now how God brings it. So a lot of the energy that could be vested to translate is not even needed. Instead, she can focus on going through, and I know Anne Marie's helping set up systems. Kaylee has helped. I can see even the confidence you have from knowing you've got somebody working with you. She's a nurse practitioner with so much experience. And it really, I did not see that coming. And just a reminder, again, if you guys are watching right now, like God provides in ways that we don't even know to ask. And it's incredible. But that wasn't all, because you've got like, you're growing in your confidence. God is providing all these details. You get the help you need. But then something incredible happens last week. You call me so excited. Tell me about it.
The church was able to buy a super old, super rundown house that is a five bedroom house, you know, and we are changing that into the clinic right as we speak. We got it very cheap.
It's right by the church, like it's behind the church.
Exactly behind the church. So it's a, like, you know, a 2-minute walk. It's right at the, you know, at the edge of our church. It has a beautiful garden and like a secluded pathway to enter, so it's private. And then you go in, and it's very run down, but hala, we just finished painting it, and one coat of paint does a difference. And so we're gonna have 3 clinics, hopefully, with a waiting area where Anne-Marie can, you know, go wild with, you know, have one-on-one conversation with people.
Well, and for years, we have prayed for that. We've been coming to do clinics at this site for the past 6 years with the Syrian refugees. By the way, the Syrian refugee clinic is continuing to run. Serene is running that clinic. It's right down the street, and it's in the camps. And so it's a different location, and that continues. And we support Serene regularly as well. And we're looking forward to hearing from her. She probably will do something like this. I want to do some Facebook Live so we can see you guys in action.
An amazing ministry with the Syrian refugees. Like right there in the camps.
But one of our dreams has been really, even leading, like in the times that we've come to Lebanon, we've had this dream of it'd be great to have a site, a location for the clinic, so we're not constantly setting up the meds, setting up the clinics. And look what God does in this year, because of a number of reasons how this became possible. But and just the awesome how God is intersecting your world with ours, and to be part of that story is a gift to us. So we want to thank you and the church in Lebanon for allowing us. I really believe that cannot be said. I know sometimes it feels like we're donating the money, but I feel like we are the ones who have been invited on a journey. Even sitting in your, right now, people might be watching from Nebraska. Now, some people might be watching places they never dream of going to the Middle East, and a little gift that they can give monthly is going to impact so many lives. And right now in Lebanon, from my understanding, from talking to the pastors on the ground, hearing the stories that you have continually told me, people are so receptive to Jesus, to Jesus because of the desperate need. Maybe talk a little bit about how you've seen that play out.
I feel like now's the time for the Lebanese to come to Jesus. Amjad, in the clinic, we've been praying with up to like 50% of the patients, So whenever we find them receptive, whenever we find them asking questions, whenever we find them in dire need of hope, like we are sharing our truth, we are sharing like what Jesus has done in our lives, and like the reception, like I am not a very, you know, courageous person, and so like I make sure that people are receptive before I go in, and like it's been mind blowing, you know. I would never have expected this outcome.
I can see the excitement and the joy in your face, Andrea, and I've seen it every week as I've talked with you. The level of comfort you have, the joy. I think this is so important. The joy that you have in being a doctor, and I think this is so huge. It's a gift, and I think there is a process that happens in medicine where you go from sort of being on the outside, knowing things, to becoming the doctor, and I'm seeing that unfold in you. So I just want to bless you and encourage you in that. And I know your dad is praying for you so heavily, and it was really his brain power and mine in that conversation. But I know he's been kind of thinking like, how can we use, you know, the gifts that God has given you, and to see this unfold and how it's happening. And it's just exciting. And it's only been a couple of months in the making. And so what is even to come, I don't know, but I'm really excited about it. And one of the goals of being here is, of course, to hear what's happening, to know how to pray for you. Maybe in a second you can tell us how to pray, but also to encourage you guys, if you're listening, to keep giving. This is an ongoing work. We're not just in to clean up a mess after the Beirut bomb. No, we're there for the long haul. We want to support the local church. We want to support the need all over the world. And we can only do it when people like you tune into segments like this, and God puts a burden on your heart, and you might be like, man, all I have is a couple of loaves of bread and a few handful of smelly fish. What is God going to do with them? And yet, look, you hear the story of how God takes the little gifts that we give him and turns them into much. Our little talents, our little resources, you know, whatever it is, our little bit of time. Sometimes we have this much time. We're like, God, I just have this much time. Is it enough? And yet God takes it and just explodes it as you give it for his honor and glory. So tell us how we can pray for you specifically.
Yeah, actually, we really need prayer for the clinic, because right now Lebanon is facing a shortage of medications. And so in the past few weeks, I've had to go from pharmacy to pharmacy just to make sure that the basic needs are met. Wow. And it is scary. It is scary. Like, so before I'd worry about, you know, prescribing expensive medicine, but right now even the cheap medicine is running out. So right now, actually, Kaylee's in Turkey, and I have her bringing back a list of medication. A friend is in Egypt. I'm having him bring back medications, because the situation is horrible. Like, we're running out of metformin and you know, bisoprolol, like the very essential. Yeah, the basic medication, we're running out of them, and this is a problem that is across the board. And so I feel like this is the biggest challenge that we're going to face.
We will pray for that, and we will pray for God to continue to guide you, because you still have to do a residency. I mean, this is that we have a year, and we're watching to see how God is using even the Kaylees and the Anne-Maries, and what he's going to do in the year to come. And so we're praying for the future for you. We will continue to support you in that, and we'll pray for the situation on the ground, for wisdom, continued wisdom, for that clinic that you guys are fixing up to just start, you know, just that it would be a center where people will know these people don't just heal, you know, physically, but they give hope and the light of Jesus, and it's shining through you today. So thank you. I know it's not your favorite thing to be on camera, but first of all, you look amazing. I don't even know how I showered in time for this, and I'm here I usually come in my workout clothes, so I really stepped it up today. I showered, but really just I know it's late for you. It's about 10:30 or 11 in Lebanon. And so thank you for staying up and doing this with us. Next time we'll do a Facebook Live, and man, I can't wait. I always know it's Friday morning, because at 6, you know, maybe 5:45, I'll start getting texts from you, and I'm always like, yes. I'm already up usually, but I'm always like, this is awesome. And it's even when I forget that it's Friday, just knowing that we've got this connection on the ground, it just fills my heart with joy. And so we're 100% behind you, and continue to share the need with us as we continue to communicate to our people. And guys, for checking in right now, thanks for coming on, and have a blessed day. Listen, wherever you are in the world, God has a plan and a purpose for your life. We believe that. We believe that God is at work in your life even as we speak. So while we're focusing on what's happening in Lebanon right now, know that we're also praying for you. So thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you guys next time with an update from Lebanon.